Welcome to Rad2, another daily reader for Reddit. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. When you're a kid, you don't realize you're also watching your mom and dad grow up. It's a strange feeling, after growing up, realizing your parents were once just people figuring things out as they go. Just like you are now. We are all living life for the first time. Sure, your parents were kids once, but they are parents for the first time, then they are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. for the first time. They are experiencing those things for the first time just like you are experiencing things too. They are just a little ahead on the path. It's even more strange if you end up giving your parents advice. Realizing nobody really has anything figured out fully and we're all just doing the best we can. Giving my dad dating advice once he started dating again after my mom passed away was definitely a weird thing, and then he confessed to me about getting high and suddenly I was a parent. Did you ground him for a month? No, old school, bent over the knee spanking. 2D. My dad once said during a semi-heated discussion, "This is my first time going through this too," or something of the sort. Really put things in perspective. To the tune of "We built this city, we poopy stinky. We poopy stinky big fart butthole." It's weird to look at old pictures of you and your parents and realize how young they looked. I've been noticing that a lot lately. They don't age in your eyes until you can see the image of the past edit. Wow, thank you for the gold. It's my first, and honestly it really makes me happy it's about my parents and not something dumb. The craziest is when you're apart for a bit. Then seeing them again you really notice the aging. Sad in a way, but humbling I suppose. Coming back after working away for 2 years was like a punch in the gut of how old my parents are getting. Same thing happened to me then. My dad died a year after I got back, so I kicked myself for ages that I'd been away so long when there was so little time left. Obviously there is no way I could have known, but the rational part of your brain isn't always friends with the grieving part of your brain. I watched my dad get sucked dry by cancer and barely saw it. I knew he wasn't looking good, but I didn't see it like I see it now. Looking back at old photos, and it's just so blatant. Things wouldn't have been better if I focused more on appearances, but I still feel guilty. I'm sorry for you loss man. More than I ever could have been before. My mom has maybe a month or 2 left due to liver failure and I don't even have the money to drive the 12 hours to go see her. I'm donating plasma twice a week to try and raise some cash. But I'm in agony thinking about the fact that I may never see my mother again. My dad would usually help out with the money, but he had to file bankruptcy from the medical expenses. I hope you have a ton of amazing memories of your dad to carry you through. It sounds like you and he were really close. Hey my guy, message me and we'll get some money to you. No need for that on my watch. I can't take your money man. As crap as this is for me, I gotta do this myself. I'd really appreciate you wanting to help though. If only we had a bullet train from Florida to Raleigh. Don't be like that man. I'll help you. Maybe several of us can donate just a bit so together we can get you there. You will regret this forever. Please accept help and go see your mom. I'm really blown away by how this has taken off. You all are truly too kind. I can't say I'm super comfortable with the concept of taking money from anyone. But at this point I just want to see my mom before what comes next. Anyone who would like to help out, and gain my absolute eternal gratitude, can offer their kind words. No pressure for anyone at all. Times are tough and everyone's words of encouragement have been overwhelming already. Thank you all so much, Edit. Thank you all so much. This has been absolutely overwhelming and I cannot begin to express my gratitude towards you all. I have removed my PayPal link because you guys have given me all I need to make the trip to see my mom. Thanks everyone, so very much. Much love and good vibes to you all. I didn't really notice my parents' age until they turned 60. Then it gets scary. That first time you go back home and suddenly realize they're old was weird. It's such a strange feeling. My parents are in their late 60s. My dad is going to be 70 this year. Where did the time go? I'm not that old, but it seems like I just turned around and now they're elderly and need help with things they didn't ever need or want help with before. My father's side of the family has all lived well into their late 90s barring accidents. His mother was 98 when she passed and her body gave up on her. I could be into my 60s before I have to think about him not being around. But my mother's side, not many of them made it to even their mid-70s, and with my mom being sick herself and the amount of things she forgets these days makes me really anxious. She's 64 and her mom only made it to 72. It feels like I have less than a decade with her now. Even though I know her parents' ages don't necessarily have a correlation to what age she will make it to, simply because of better access to medical care. I still get great swooping surges of anxiety, thinking about the future and her age. I remember seeing my grandparents and my parents together growing up, and they seemed so old to me at the time. But looking back, they were around the same age compared to their parents as I am now compared to mine, and I remember thinking they all had their crap together. Hell no, they didn't. They were frontin' the entire time. Lol, both of generations. I'm now older than my parents were when they had me. They were 19 and 24, and I'm still upset with how I acted knowing what all they did for me. I didn't have my first kid until I was a decade older than my parents had their first kid. I have no idea how they managed. One of the hardest things about reaching adulthood is seeing your parents less and less, and seeing them age more and more each time you see them. Alright, I'm out. That was the last straw. This thread is hitting way too close to home. That's the first legitimate shower thought I've seen on a long time. My stepson was 2 when I met my wife. Today is his 18th birthday. That went by so incredibly fast, it's really unbelievable and makes you realize how fast you really age. It seems like an eternity from being a little kid to turning 18, but as an adult 16 years feels like 6 or 7 years. It's crazy. Slow down as much as you can and enjoy your lives, folks. I can't stress this enough. I remember my 21st birthday to the minor details. Same with my 30th. All seem like they weren't that long ago. You are an adult when you realize that your parents are human. You are grown up when you forgive them for it. Richard, Dick, Leland *, fix the spelling of his name. He was a professor at East Stroudsburg University. Brilliant man who saved my life once, and left some amazing gems like the one above in our world. Every single parent screws their kid up in some capacity. It's just a matter of how bad and whether you've also taught your kids tools to cope with your screw-ups. Not me. I give my child proper emotional support, resources for intellectually stimulating activities, and just to be safe. Before bed I scream at him for 40 minutes to never be screwed up in any way. Yeah, watching your kids grow up while still being clueless is a freaking strange feeling. Eventually they'll see it and my hairness will disappear. I remember when it happened with my parents. I think a lot of things changed, and not for the worst, it just changed when I figured it out. Lot of innocence kind of, but an innocence that didn't serve me. First shower thought that made me think about that. Neat. It's such weird things that break your image of your parents. 2. I vividly remember being at a fair as a kid, climbing a rock wall, with my dad helping by partially holding me up. I remember just suddenly realizing that when I climbed to a certain height, he wouldn't be able to reach me anymore to help. It was really sobering. I think about this often because my parents had us kids pretty young and they had troubled lives. I watched them break up, my mum go through starving herself and taking drugs, through alcoholism, and her depression after her mum died. When I was younger I resented her for every way I felt unloved and powerless. Now I grieve for her and only want to build her up in her last chapter of life. I want to bring her forward with me on my own journey to healing from our broken family. I'm 27 and this is my first winter in my own place that has a driveway that I am responsible for. Today I told my dad, "Dad, I know it's 27 years too late, but thank you for all the times you shoveled the snow." He laughed. Thanks for watching Rad 2. Like and subscribe for daily Reddit videos. If you like these videos, check out the original Rad channel.